Hello and welcome to this video on the Lifeline. So the Lifeline is this one that you can see on the picture, and today we are going to look at the termination of the Lifeline. So the ideal termination is when the line actually goes around the mount of Venus, which is this part of the hand, and it ends close to the wrist on Ketu after making a very nice curve. Now, this is when everything is ideal. So you can see on the print, it shows the curve. So when it shows the curve, it actually keeps the energy of Venus, which is the body, it keeps it well contained. In this case, it is the best combination because there is no lack of energy. The energy flows right to the end. But this is only in ideal cases. A lot of the time, this is not the way it is. So now we're going to see what happens when the line actually goes around and then ends straight into Ketu. So Ketu is the wrist plus triangle right between Venus and the moon. And Ketu represents our past lives. So when the lifeline ends in Ketu, we are born in this life in order to realize past desires. So it gives us a lot of intensity. The intensity also comes from the fact that the ending is straight. And as you know from my previous videos, each time the line is straight or part of the line is straight, gives us a lot of intensity. We try to go straight when we should actually go around obstacles. So this line ending straight in Ketu gives us a lot of intensity, and we tend to resist, and sometimes it gives us too much ego. So now we are going to look at a line ending in the moon. It is not supposed to end in the moon. It's supposed to actually go around. We don't want the line to go in the moon. In this case, Venus is not being contained anymore because the line is actually flowing out. And it's a little bit like a river overflowing. Moon represents our perceptions, our emotions, our imagination. And when the line that is supposed to take care of our body, it's supposed to be there to hold us, is not there anymore, we become agitated. So there's a lot of excitement, we're looking for pleasure, we lack discipline, we tend to live on adrenaline, and also we tend not to take our responsibilities properly. Now we are going to look at a different ending, and this is when the line ends in Venus. It's not supposed to end in Venus because it tends to squeeze Venus, and Venus is our body. So we don't want it to be squeezed. We want to be able to live and to breathe properly. So on this example, you can see two endings on Venus. The first, you can see it ends really early, so the person doesn't enjoy life. There is a lot of lack of energy. So the person tends to be depressed. They may not eat properly, and there is really the problem. There is not enough energy to go on. On the second case, it starts well, but then it tends to squeeze Venus, so we have a tendency to isolate. And this is a little bit later in life. So we could have a tendency to isolate because we want to do something. So it has to be because we want something, as opposed to a tendency to run away for something. But again, as I mention every time, you can always change your lines. So now we are going to look at the case when there is a fork at the end of the line. So the fork shouldn't go too much in the moon. It should stay, like the one that is going on this side should stay within Ketu. So when we have a fork at the end of the line, and we have two examples there, the vision opens, and we want to include other cultures. And a lot of the time, a fork like that, which is like a nice equal fork, means that either we are going to immigrate from a country, immigrate into another country, or that we are sort of a citizen of the world and we want to include people in our life. Now I'm going to talk about the branches. So here I was talking about the fork. So this is when you have two branches, one going one way, one the other. And the branch can be at any place, and it's usually an opportunity, usually a change that we want to go towards something new. And it is important first that after the branch, the lifeline continues very strongly, and you can see that it is the case. And then also that the branch doesn't reach the moon. We don't want the branch to reach the moon, because when the branch reaches the moon, it takes us away from our life. So we are living with our imagination, which is not the way of this is not the way the lifeline should be. So we tend to be into wishful thinking. So, if only I had $1 million, or when I retire, things will be better. Oh, if I had married so-and-so, I would be much happier now. And this is the problem with the branches at the end of the lifeline, because they take us away from life the way it is. So when we have many branches, we are too busy with the projects that we have in our head. So we don't take proper care of our body. So maybe we don't eat properly, or we don't exercise, and we do things that we shouldn't be doing, like maybe smoking, drinking, addiction. And this may affect our health. And it can weaken our lifeline. It basically takes our energy and our happiness away from the lifeline. And this is why the best termination to have, even though it's not too common, I actually had to look a lot, like I would say less than 10% of the lifeline have a healthy termination, and this is a termination that is very clean, that is round, no branch, ideal, so that we can live happily ever after.